Which is more likely, a woman taking responsibility for her role in why a relationship ended, or blaming the former partner?
A woman blaming the former partner.
I think that question is too general.
Is it like kind of like blame someone else, like mentality kind of thing, or?
Yeah, just because they don't like to take the responsibility. Sometimes we're irrational, so that's why, probably.
You want to know a really quick way of uncovering a red flag and finding out if your new crush is a high quality woman, somebody who is worth pursuing? Simply ask her this question. So, what went wrong with your previous relationship? If she gives the wrong answer to this question, that is a red flag. Move on, this girl is not worth investing in. The wrong answer, of course, is some variation of, it's entirely his fault, I was blameless. She might not say it in those words. She might say, my ex neglected me, he didn't appreciate me the way that I was meant to be appreciated. My ex was abusive. If you hear an answer like that, become very suspicious. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that it's impossible that she didn't have an ex who was abusive. There are lots of men out there who mistreat women. And I'm also not victim blaming. I'm not saying that it's a red flag that she used to be in an abusive relationship. That's not the issue. Very few people have a completely clean past. The red flag is her answer. You see, in saying an answer like, he was neglectful, he was abusive, she's placing all of the blame outside of herself. There's no indication of any kind of personal responsibility, and that's not really good enough. You want to know what was her role in creating that dynamic. Surely, at least part of the blame for why the relationship didn't work out must lie with her. And if she is presenting herself as a 100% pure, innocent angel who is subject to a 100% evil, malicious man, there is reason to be suspicious. Now, occasionally you will find a dynamic where it is 100% one person's fault, but that is extremely rare. By far the most common scenario is it was some of that person's fault and some of that person's fault. So if she was in a toxic relationship with her ex-boyfriend, that is not necessarily a problem so long as she recognizes what part she played in creating that dynamic and demonstrates that she's able to take personal responsibility. If she completely denies that any fault lies with her, she won't take responsibility, then what is to stop her from replaying that exact same dynamic with you? When you meet a woman, you need to make sure that she's going to be worth your time, that this is a good investment. You don't have time to spend 3 months with a girl just ignoring all the red flags and avoiding all the big topics, only to find out, surprise, surprise, that she's actually a huge bitch. She's constantly complaining. She's constantly arguing with you. She's insulting you all the time. If you're a high quality man, you don't have that kind of time to waste. So have the tough conversations early. Ask her, why did your last relationship not work out? If her answer is that he was a lovely guy, but they just weren't at the right place in life or something benign like that, it's fine. Don't really need to dig that much deeper. But if she's making those claims that this was an abusive relationship, you need to probe further. You need to hear some evidence of personal responsibility so that you can make sure that the person that she was then is no longer the person that she is now. Only by seeing proof that she has actually changed can you feel safe to know that history is not going to repeat itself. If you have a dirty petri dish, then don't be surprised when it grows bacteria. Sure, you can always remove that bacteria, but unless you actually clean the petri dish out, then obviously that same bacteria is going to grow back again. Likewise, if a woman has been in a toxic relationship and you see no evidence that she's taken any kind of personal responsibility, she hasn't cleaned up after herself, then in all likelihood she's going to be attracted to that same toxic dynamic again and again. If she doesn't make any changes inside herself, then legitimately she cannot be surprised when it happens again. Because you see, even if you're not actively contributing to the toxicity of a relationship, you're not the one who complains, you're not the one who launches insults, you're not the one who argues, the fact that you're still in that relationship means that you do bear some responsibility for what's occurring. You have to ask, what is it inside myself that stays in this kind of dynamic? What flaw do I have? What insecurity is it that allows me to tolerate this horrible relationship? You know, it's a fool me once kind of situation. If she's been continuously dating horrible men, then she needs to ask herself, why am I attracted to this kind of guy? Or at the very least, why am I willing to put up with it? Is it because of low self-esteem? Is it because of low standards? Is it a matter of ignorance and you just need to educate yourself more on the dark psychology of humanity? So you see, if a woman comes to you and she has a story of victimhood from a previous relationship, that's not necessarily problematic. It's not like you can't show compassion, love, and care towards that person. But that doesn't mean that you don't also need to show love, care, and compassion towards yourself. And that means doing your due diligence and protecting yourself against somebody's dysfunctional psychology. You need to know that she has the emotional self-awareness to identify what it was inside herself that created that relationship dynamic. If you see evidence that she has shifted and she has taken personal responsibility, that's great. Continue on as normal. But if you ask a woman, what happened with your last relationship? Why didn't it work out with your ex? And all you get are complaints and stories of victimhood, run. If she has taken no responsibility for her own role in creating that toxic relationship, if she has no insight as to why she was attracted to him, and you see no evidence of change or growth, that's all you need to know. This is not the woman for you. As I have said many times on this channel, it is better to be alone and single than be with a low quality woman. They are more trouble than they're worth. When should you ask a woman out? That is the topic of my latest video. And in this video, I explain why if you're even asking this question, you've already started on the wrong foot. I talk in depth about how the paradigm that you're coming from in asking a woman out is flawed and how you need to reshape the way that your mind processes male and female interactions. For every video that I post on YouTube, I post an additional bonus video on Patreon, which means that at the moment, you're only seeing half of my content. My Patreon is just $5 and you get instantaneous access to all of my exclusive content. It is a great way to support this channel and I really hope to see you over there.